Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's program that we have put together for you. So I'm really excited to be here with Justin, and we're going to be getting into what we feel is a very important topic in terms of how to bring your business online. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes just to go over a few housekeeping and some brief introductions. So my name is Melanie Lang, and I am the executive director of the John F. Wood Center. We are housed within the Gordon S. Lang School of Business at the University of Guelph. Now, before we begin, I did just want to take a moment and thank the Guelph Chamber of Commerce, who we have been partnering with to bring this type of programming and content forward for you, for our business community. And also, I wanted to note that we will have an opportunity for some Q&A following more of the type of programming that we prepared here for you this morning. So my advice would be for you to go ahead, and if you have a burning question, to please post it. There is a chat function, like a Q&A function there. So please go ahead and post your question there. Now, secondary, if you see a question that you like, please like it. And what that will do is it upvotes it. So it brings it to our attention that is something of importance that you'd like us to focus on. So if you see something that you like, please go ahead. Or if somebody has already posed a question that you feel you'd like to see answered, that would be my advice to you for that. Also note that following this morning's session, we are recording this morning, and we were going to be sending it out, a link of the recording afterwards. And so in addition to the link, you're also going to receive some resources and some additional information that we're going to be making reference to, as well as some other, funding programs to support this very important work. So if you were wanting to just sit and listen and absorb the content that we're going to be sharing with you this morning, please feel free to do so, knowing that you're going to be getting a recording of our talk here today afterwards. Okay, so with those housekeeping duties out of the way, I wanted to, introduce you to our very special guest. So this morning we're joined by Justin Frenette. He is a partner and technology director at Him and Her Creative Agency, as well as one of the founding partners of HeyLocal. So Justin, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your time. Obviously, given that you are one of the founders of HeyLocal, you see and understand the importance of this, as well as the need that the business community have obviously expressed to you in how to not just bring their business online, but how to allow it to be found once it is online. So just a little bit of a tidbit to, I think, help reiterate the importance of this topic is that one of the questions or concerns that I have received a lot over the years in working with our clients through the Wood Center is that they've created a site, or perhaps they haven't yet decided if they wanted to create a site, because perhaps the worry for them is, will this take away from my current way of doing business? The notion of having e-commerce for some can be intimidating. It can be because it's maybe they're not as familiar with it as a way of building relationships with customers, with their clientele. So with that, I just thought, my response to that always is, no, this is just such a great way to leverage, to enhance, to increase your customer base. And you're going to be building relationships in new and neat and novel ways. And so I'm just really pleased that you're here to reiterate that for us and to share that with us. So what I'd like to do is maybe, have you share about, what is HeyLocal? Why is this platform so important for businesses?
Yeah,
And how is it helpful for businesses to be able to shop local?
yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me, and I appreciate everybody's time here today as well, to give me a chance to spread this initiative. So if I take just one step back, 6 weeks ago, another co-founder, Scott Higgins, reached out and was upset because of the fact that we all want to support local, but he had just spent 45 minutes online trying to find a local store where he could buy bed sheets online. And instead he couldn't find it. So he went to Amazon. And that really hit a nerve with him. The fact that, we have so many great businesses. I know for sure you can find a business that sells bed sheets online, but you couldn't easily find it. And with the retail stores closed, it was a no-go. And so he called us up and said, hey, it's really annoying. Why hasn't somebody built the Amazon for local? And how hard could it be? And so it was a great thought. Scott calls us with all kinds of things all the time. And it hits dear to our heart because at him and her, a majority of our clients are small, medium businesses in the region and surrounding cities. And so we live and breathe helping businesses try and grow and particularly right now survive the COVID impact. And so we thought about it, and the reality is that there was a lot of progress being made. So various cities around the world, there's been business directories popping up where businesses can go on, they can fill out a Google form, list their site, and somebody in the background adds it to the site. So I think one in Quebec, 1,000 businesses signed up, a couple million views from the cities. So there's obviously the need for support. But if you think about it, it doesn't help you find that bed sheet. You'd still have to go through all the businesses, open up all their websites, et cetera. And so what we realized is that there really needed to be an online marketplace for small, medium businesses to list their products and enable Canadians to find those products in their local communities, essentially an Amazon for local. And we went out to build that, and we realized that Shopify was the platform that could help us launch quickly because, as people have seen in the news, there's many initiatives happening to bring shops online. It's the second largest e-commerce platform next to Amazon. And so that allowed us to hit as many people as possible. And as we go through the talk, I'll get into some details about how we're expanding beyond Shopify, but think about it as a Amazon for local.
Cool. No, thank you for that. And I'm glad that you're going to circle back and talk about your kind of version 2.0 of this, because I know that that's very important. There are some, so this isn't just for businesses who are starting out in e-commerce. This is also for businesses who already have an e-commerce platform, who may not be on Shopify, but still want to be a part of this local movement, right? Being able to have their products and services found. So I'm really, really thrilled that you're considering that expansion aspect of it as well. So you touched on a little bit around, obviously there's the benefits of being able to buy bed sheets. And I know I've given the example of, if I wanted to search red shoes, right? So how do you go about doing that? And what I love about this is, and I know you're going to go into your demo shortly and give us more of a talking tour here, but it not only is going to allow businesses to be found where they are, but it perhaps is also going to allow customers in other communities find your local business, right? So can you talk a little bit about that reverse benefit, right? So it's not just about where we are located, it's also about, like you mentioned, about multiple cities across Canada.
Exactly. So a default behavior is you come on the site, it's going to ask you your city or your location. So obviously you can choose your city, which allows you to shop local. And so we use a 50-kilometer or 100-kilometer radius. If you can't find something in that 50 kilometers, you can expand out. So that's the local component. And beyond, trying to help you build your e-commerce store or help, in particular right now during COVID, that's also helpful if you think about seasonal shopping. Every time at Christmas, Valentine's Day, there's always the blogs you search for, like, what are my gift ideas for Valentine's? Christmas, you have to go to those 10 or 12 retail stores. Nobody has time necessarily. This year coming up, are we going to be fully open or not? It's not determined. So seasonal shopping is another aspect of local. And then to your point, the more tourism or geographic-based shopping is exactly it. So you can change your city to Vancouver, to Kitchener-Waterloo from Toronto. You can shop anywhere in Canada that you want to find those local businesses, which is another great opportunity that you can't really do on another platform right now.
No, that's awesome. And so what you've just described is like it's just so exciting. So if somebody is wanting to just go ahead and get started, like how hard is it to do that? Like how hard is it to start to get basically aligned with what you have created?
Yeah. So Easiest is if you have a Shopify store or if you're currently onboarding to Shopify. And we chose it, like I talked before, because it allowed us to hit the most amount of businesses as possible, because we're trying to have as large of an impact out the door. So if you have a Shopify site or you're in the process of setting one up, you go to the app store. Shopify has an app store similar to everything else you're used to, and you search for HeyLocal and you install the app. So the app installs, and then your setup is about 5 minutes. So you go to your profile, you add a logo, a bit of a description, any social links you'd like. You pick a primary category. So, are you food and beverage? Are you clothing and accessories, etc.? And then it will pull all of the products from your Shopify store into the app. You can review those products. You can put them in more detailed categories. Let's say there's a Father's Day category coming up. That's a special category. So if you've got a Father's Day basket or a particular gift, ties, whatever, you can put them in those detailed categories. And then you're live. Within a couple minutes, your products sync to the store, and you are now searchable. We use the location in Shopify. You have to put a location for your store. So we use that address and we geolocate all your products to that address. So you can begin being found either by search, by category exploring, or by the company directory if somebody wanted to just browse companies. So very
Awesome.
easy. Now, if you're not
Yeah,
on
no,
Shopify, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to my point earlier, if you're not on Shopify, one major thing is happening. So in about 2 weeks, we're working on dedicated HeyLocal accounts. So your account right now is your Shopify store. But in 2 weeks, you'll be able to sign up for an actual HeyLocal account. And then to hit as many other platforms as possible, we're going to be doing Excel or CSV, if you're familiar with it, basically an Excel sheet upload. So you can download a template, export your products from whatever platform you're on, Squarespace, what are some other ones? BigCommerce, WooCommerce, and then locally in particular, Sociavore and Localine are two that have been brought to our attention as big players, especially in our region. Sociavore for restaurants, Localine for farmers and marketplaces or markets. So we've had calls with them. So in the coming weeks, when we launch that HeyLocal account feature, we have partnerships with them. And so they'll have dedicated CSV exports from those applications that you can import right into HeyLocal. So it maybe will take 6 or 7 minutes to set up your account and then export and import the CSV. But essentially that'll pull all your products in. And we didn't really touch on it, but unlike a traditional platform, like if you wanted to post your products on Amazon or eBay or Kijiji, Etsy, etc., HeyLocal doesn't take any transaction fees. So we bring your products in and we link back to your business. So when I find the bed sheet and I click on that product, I can either click on it and go right to your site and purchase through your website, or I can click on your business name and you'll see it in the demo, and I can explore all the other products by your business.
That's awesome. Actually, you've just kind of answered or addressed my next question, which was essentially, like that transactions, because some of the downfalls of some of these other platforms that are trying to expand awareness of certain businesses, they do take a transaction fee, right? So I'm really encouraged to hear that is not something that you guys have created. But I am sure that there is a cost. So what is the cost then of doing business with HeyLocal?
So our goal from the beginning was to make this accessible as possible long-term, but also particularly right now during COVID. So when you install the app, it has a 90-day free trial, just like Shopify does currently. But to help spread the awareness of the platform, because it is an important aspect that we do need as many merchants to sign up so that there is enough product to search for consumers to come to the site. So it's not a small feat by any means, right? We need enough merchants onboarded so that we can entice consumers to start to use the site. So we're not going to snap our fingers and be the Amazon competitor directly, but if we all onboard and build awareness, we can start to compete with them. And so the $4.99 a month subscription fee is the cost after the 90-day trial. But for the launch of HeyLocal, we will be giving the first 50,000 businesses that sign up a lifetime subscription free. So you
Oh
don't
my
need
gosh.
to do anything else. Once you sign up, we essentially will take the first 50,000 businesses in the database and we'll set their subscription fee to $0. So obviously
I
there's a
feel
benefit.
like what you just did was you were like, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card. Like, it was just like,
Yep.
that's awesome. Justin, that's very generous. And as you can imagine, especially with everything that's been going on, this is definitely, you know, this is the type of news and support that our businesses need right now, right? Is not only help in terms of bringing awareness to what, you know, their business, what they've created,
Yep.
but also support in that ongoing journey that they have of after they've expanded. So that's awesome. So
And
I know that you have a demo prepared for us here today, and I feel like if I keep asking you questions, you're gonna give away the secret sauce before you've had a chance to actually share it, like show it to us. So why don't we just go ahead and I'll let you like launch into that if you're okay.
absolutely.
And then that way it gives us a little bit more additional time at the end for any questions that might come up. And then I also want to be able to share briefly some resources to support businesses who are interested in, like, you know, bringing their business online and joining if they choose to join with HeyLocal. Okay.
That's a
So
great,
with that, I guess I'll let you share your screen and you can go from there.
perfect. So as I start to share here, that's another great point you touched on, is the fact that the great thing about HeyLocal, as it builds momentum, is everybody who either has an e-commerce store, or more importantly, those who are just turning on e-commerce stores, you don't have necessarily the SEO expertise of a marketing agency. You don't also right now necessarily have a large marketing budget to go and spend a bunch of money on ad campaigns to build audience awareness. Of course, everybody has their following on social media and their current customers, and a majority of those customers will transact on your online store. But to stay afloat and to thrive, you do need to reach new customers. And so HeyLocal is a very cost-effective way to do that exact thing, to start to give you that advantage of being discovered without having to know how to get listed on Google or any of these other platforms. And so with that, I will start into the demo. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
I can see it.
Okay, so when you first land on HeyLocal, we do have some temporary messaging popped up. And so it's important for us to let consumers know, if they're coming to the site, that we're onboarding merchants right now. The pilot launching in Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, and Guelph and surrounding townships is our first priority. So once we have enough merchants onboarded, we'll remove this messaging for this region. And what you do when you first land is really, we're talking to two different people: businesses that are looking to sign up, or the consumer. And so here we're highlighting that the first 50K are free. And then we'll also be launching social media campaign next week when PR officially announces, to try and get 1 million Canadians across Canada to share a local business that they support or would miss if they disappeared. And so as a consumer, if I wanted to start exploring now, you begin by selecting your city, and you're now on the HeyLocal site. So if you've been on Amazon or any of the other large aggregators, you'll be familiar with this interface. Search first and foremost. You're likely here to find a particular product. So let's say I wanted to find some lettuce, or I'm having a party and I would like to find some gin. Maybe I need a hat because it's very sunny out, right? And so you can start to see that it's bringing all kinds of products to the forefront. You can click on this product. And so if I click here, this is going to take me to that vendor's website. So you can see it's taking me to the Willibald site where I can buy this product from them. And it opens in a new tab so that you don't lose where you are on the site. So I can come back and continue shopping. Now, we are aware that we are solving the problem of finding products, but we're not solving all problems. So if I want to buy a hat from Willibald and a hat from Bumble Baby Boutique, I would still need to go to both sites and purchase, right? So we'd have added a feature where you can favorite items and wish list them so that you can keep them in one place as you're exploring and come back up and view those products when you're done searching. Now, you can at any time click on the business name to see and learn about that particular business. So it lists their website, their address, what shipping methods they have available, and here you can see I can explore everything else they're offering. Alternatively, I can browse by category. So if I wanted to look at some men's apparel. And so what you're seeing here is that categories enable as they're available in different cities, but they're not necessarily available in your city. So here, clothing and accessories. Additionally, if you come down to the footer of the site, we haven't made this a primary feature, but you can explore a company directory if you so fit, and you can filter it by a specific category. And up here, if I wanted to change my location, it's as easy as typing it in, and you can see where I can change my 50 or 100-kilometer radius to open up the range of business that I'm trying to find. If you are looking to sign up, you can click Add Your Business, and we've got a really great link here to take you to Shopify, as well as a demo, so similar to what you're seeing here today. And also, if you're on, or if you're looking to set up Shopify for the first time, we've linked to a bunch of great resources by Shopify themselves on how to get set up on Shopify. You can do it in about a day or two yourself if you have the time. And if you're on another platform, we'd love to hear from you. So if you can fill out this survey and let us know if you're on another platform, that helps us identify and prioritize platforms that we may want to integrate with more directly in the future. And so I won't take you through the whole site. There's lots of other information and resources, but this is a passionate project for us because we believe that in getting more small businesses discovered online, it helps keep our shopping local. And to do that, it really needs to be easy and convenient for the consumer. Two things are happening. You have a demographic that is used to shopping online, and you have a demographic that's never shopped online, and they're doing it for the first time. And right now they're being trained on how to do it. And that training is putting them towards Walmart and Amazon. And we wanna make sure that we have an equal opportunity to educate them to shop local. And as you know, there's lots of great benefits. It keeps the profits in town, right? We allows businesses to have jobs. It allows us to reinvest in our community. You know, when we give our profits to Amazon, yes, we'll get some fulfillment center and delivery jobs, but it's not going to grow our city. They don't care about our community like we do. Our small businesses are the lifeblood of our communities. And if we all go out of business because of COVID, then it's not going to be a very fun place to live anymore. So we're passionate about it. These categories, a final note, will change depending on the season to allow us to highlight specific businesses. And we're adding features like randomly showing new businesses that are on the platform, etc. And so that is the very quick demo of HeyLocal on the front end for the consumer. And I'll spend just 2 minutes to show you, if you do have a Shopify site, how it looks. So if anybody's seen the back end of Shopify, there is an app section. So here's the HeyLocal app. When you click into the app, you've got a dashboard that gives you just a little bit of information about what's published on your product. It's just authenticating here. So you can see it reads chocolate. One of our clients has 3 categories, 251 products are published. Their profile, you can see, has a logo, a primary category, their delivery options. And then what you're seeing here is similar to what you'll see when we enable HeyLocal accounts in about 2 weeks. So we've got our category, Father's Day and food. So if I click into the food category, I can view all the products that are currently listed on HeyLocal, or if there's any issues that I need to fix. So I can remove a product at any time, or I could add a new product as well if I wanted to from my Shopify store. Once you hit add those products, your products are live on the site. So it's that simple.
Awesome. Now, one quick question I have for you. Obviously, this is geared, towards like a product-oriented business. What about businesses who have, say, a service? How can they take advantage of this platform?
Yeah. So if you have a service-based business right now, there's a couple types of service businesses where it would be relatively straightforward to list yourself. So let's say you're a barber shop and you don't necessarily, some barbershops are selling products right now, right? So I go to Green Room Barbers. And so if they had a Shopify account, or in 2 weeks when the HeyLocal accounts are live, they could list their business and just put up a gift card if you wanted. You could also, if you're selling combs or shampoo, etc. So even though your primary business is service, you can still list some products. So let's say you're Him and Her, right? Our business. We don't necessarily sell products you can buy online. But if we wanted, at least during COVID, we could put our business up there and list ourselves with a gift card. So that's one way to get discovered. Our goal, once we've tackled retailers and food and beverage and restaurants, will be to see how we can make the platform even better for service-based businesses, in terms of you're not searching for products, but you're searching for services. So that would be an expansion to be more I guess like Yellow Pages or Yelp based functionality. But right now it is focused on e-commerce, but a kind of workaround is list your business with a gift card. And that's a really easy way to be discovered. And with Shopify free for 90 days, I think they have a really basic account. I think they released a new essential account that's like $15 a month. You should be able to install that, install the app, and then list yourself as a business.
Okay, that's great. And so because this is your own, so one of the questions that just came in a few minutes ago was, how do we make sure that the info was kept up to date? But because the individual store owner is the owner of the site,
Yep.
presumably then it's up to that individual store owner to update their inventory and their what they're selling.
So that's a great question. So right now, if you're using Shopify, it is integrated. We're working on an adjustment where if you do track inventory and your inventory runs out, that will take the product down. Right now, it leaves it up, and when you go to the site, it says out of stock. So we're working on an adjustment for that. But Shopify, it's a real-time sync. So you add a product, you delete a product, you mark it as not available on your online store, HeyLocal will update. The HeyLocal accounts that are launching in 2 weeks don't have the benefit of that real-time sync. So actually integrating with other platforms is a longer term objective, right? To have that true sync. So if you, let's say, are on Sociavore, and what's a great example? Crofty Ramen was doing take-home ramen kits, right? And so if they were inventory tracking and they set up the HeyLocal account, they uploaded a CSV, they would have to go back into their HeyLocal account to mark that product as unavailable if they wanted to. But again, the magic is that, let's say you don't get to it. So let's say Crafty Ramen's tracking inventory on their website on Sociavore, they uploaded the CSV to HeyLocal and they ran out of inventory. On HeyLocal, the consumer is clicking the product and it's taking them to the Crafty Ramen site, but then it's going to tell them that it's out of inventory. So we're always sending them back to your site. So there is a little bit more manual work if you want to truly keep things in sync if you're using the CSV feature, but if you're on Shopify, everything's fully in sync. So one last recommendation would be, if let's say you're from Local Line and you've got, 50 products because you're a farmer, maybe just upload, your 10 most popular products so that people can still discover you, but you don't need to worry about managing your entire inventory on the site.
Okay. And for some, I know that that actually is good because they want to maintain that control, right, of their inventory, of what is being put forward by their business. So some actually that may be a preference for them. Although I do see the benefit of it, of the inventory feature being able to be managed. But no, that's really good.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, and I was just going to say the last thing is we're extremely open to feedback. So right now we're reaching out to businesses directly, and as they install them, we're gathering any feedback in terms of features they would like, anything they find difficult or concerning, because everybody's industry is a little bit differently. So that's the challenge when you're working across inventory. So we've had things like, can I order my product? Can I, what's another one? Can I sometimes there's category requests, right? I don't perfectly fit in a certain category. So we're gathering feedback as we launch in the region so that we can find the most requested features and continue to improve it as we move forward.
That's awesome. Kind of a true startup, so to speak, in terms of building the track as you drive the train, kind of thing. So that's really good. This is really helpful, and being able to see firsthand. It's a beautiful platform, and I like how you've made it incredibly user friendly. Because ultimately, really, it does come down to that user experience, that customer experience, because that is what in turn is going to allow them to come back and be repeat customers, right?
Yeah.
So what you have prepared here is really great, and I also really appreciate your openness for that learning and development and continuing to stretch and grow and expand your offering as you welcome new and different platforms, so that this really is an inclusive and accessible platform for many. So,
Absolutely, because
um,
we can't do it without you guys, right? Like I said, it's not
yeah.
perfect right out the door. It's not Amazon on day one. We all have to add to it, and then we'll slowly build momentum for the community.
No, this is really great. Now, one other question that we had came in here, and I know that you have addressed it, but I think it's maybe important if you wanted just to maybe reiterate how that might work. Is that for somebody as of right now who doesn't have a Shopify account, can you maybe just explain again how they might still be able to use this site for the time being, and because I think you mentioned in a couple weeks time you're hoping to have that downloadable feature.
Yeah, so if you were looking to get online immediately, you love the platform, what we are doing based on our availability is people can reach out directly to us, and there is a way we can manually add you to the site through our own scripting. So essentially, you would reach out to the HeyLocal email and say, hey, I really want to be on the site. I'm not on Shopify. Can I work with you to get manually listed? In which
Hmm.
case we would send you an Excel template, you would fill it out, and then we would add you to the site manually. So
Okay.
that's kind of very short term if you're very passionate about getting online in the next 2 weeks. If you're open to waiting 2 weeks, approximately, then at that 2 week mark, you'll be able to go to the website. There'll be a sign up button. You create an account, and then you can upload the CSV sheet yourself. And similar to what you saw on the back end of Shopify, you'll be able to manage all your products on the back end of HeyLocal to decide what shows and what it's called and what its price is, etc.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so just for those who are listening in, the resources and the references that we're speaking about this morning will be shared with you following this morning's session. And so there will be some like helpful links and tips and that sort of thing that we'll be able to send out to those who have registered for this morning's session. I know you mentioned earlier about how, if you have the time, it takes about 1 to 2 days to get yourself up and ready. But I did want to just take a moment and just share about some resources that we are have found and have learned of that I think would be very helpful for businesses. And so there are some subsidized programs that are available through, if you wanted to hire a co-op student, either through Conestoga or through the University of Guelph, or other co-op programs perhaps that are maybe that you're affiliated with or that you know of. So following today, we'll be listing some resources for you to tap into to be able to do that and to help support and subsidize the cost of that. And then a new program that has just been released actually through MyTax. It's a MyTax internship program, and it's a business internship program. And so with that, because I work for the University of Guelph, I'm going to speak to it from that context. And so University of Guelph students can essentially help you transition your business, your operation and your platform to becoming a digitized business. And so what that looks like is that there are participating organizations that contribute up to $2,500 per student for a 16-week full-time position. And so it's a matching program. So there is a university contributed portion, there is a business contributed portion, and then there's a government contributed portion. So that the government portion is being contributed by MyTax. And so total, what ends up happening is that the student then is compensated $10,000 for their work over a 16-week period. So it's a really wonderful program, and this is something that has been newly crafted, newly created in response to what's happening right now within the market. So Justin, you're speaking about the impact of COVID and what this has done for businesses, and it's essentially forcing us to e-commerce, right? To digitizing our business, because we've become aware of how important it is to have that e-commerce platform so that we can continue to serve our markets. And so this is one of the programs that we've just learned of that is available to support. And so following this morning, we will have, we will be able to send around some information about that. We have created a poll, and so while the poll is going to be put up for those who are on the line to listen in and to answer, it would just be helpful for us to get a sense of the interest of those within within the Guelph market here that might be interested in wanting to learn more. So if you are an eligible organization, and when I say eligible, so obviously SMEs is mostly what we're focused on, but we certainly are also, the program is open to working with social enterprises and not-for-profit enterprises as well. All organizations do go through a bit of a vetting process, which sometimes can take up to 2 weeks, but that is just to ensure that the organization is in line to receive these funds. And so I wanted to bring this forward to you because I know that what we have heard from the business community is that they are in a bit of a state of overwhelm. So they recognize the need to bring their business to have an online platform. And Justin, what you've shared with us here this morning is just a beautiful example of how you've made that possible, ease of reference and finding. So I'm really thrilled that this is something that you've been working on, you and others have been working on. But the actual doing of getting your business online, hearing from businesses that this sometimes can be overwhelming. So I thought it was really important to bring forward examples of different support for businesses to be able to do this. So if you wanted to just take a moment and complete this poll, that would be helpful. And the other thing to note too is that the $2,500 matching from the organizations, that is something that can be shared. So let's say you have 5 businesses that want to each contribute $500 towards hiring a student to help support the work. As long as one of the organizations is kind of considered like a lead on it, there's no reason why the cost of that can be shared amongst the participating businesses. So just know that is an option. If if there's a bit of sticker shock on your part when you hear $2,500, know that there are options for different organizations. If you know of others that you would like to work with and to together leverage your funds and participate in this program, just know that that's an option for you all as well. So I'm assuming that you've had a moment to complete the poll. So that's great. And then again, just to reiterate, after we will also, in addition, share the My Tax information, co-op information. I'll be linking resources from the University of Guelph, but also too, I'll be happy to find and submit information about Conestoga's co-op program as well, if that is an institution that you are currently familiar with and that you're working with. So yeah, so with that, I mean, Justin, do you have anything, is there anything that I haven't asked you yet that you feel would be is important for our viewers to know of or to hear?
I think to what you finished on about getting online and it seeming, daunting, scary, overwhelming. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. It is scarier than it seems. If you're not like a true e-commerce business, it's not as much work as you think. Tools like Shopify have made it quite user-friendly and simple. You're picking a theme, you're connecting your payment, which is just a little bit of bank details. You're putting in some tax, which is on most platforms has been pre-populated. Nowadays, like with COVID, you're probably using either standard shipping or curbside pickup, which they have tools for. So these programs have made it very simple. Yes, there's some learning. Bringing a student in is great because they can do that first round of setup and then they can take you through some training. And you don't need to sell everything online if you don't want to. You can start small and dabble in it. And it's absolutely important to your business, not only to survive now, but to thrive moving forward. Reed's Chocolate, we launched their site right before Christmas. They did more during Christmas than they in the Christmas season online than they did all of last year online because they had a rudimentary version of the site. It's absolutely what's keeping them alive right now. Things like, think about scenarios of people who are just rushed or last minute, let's say during Father's Day, where I can't make it out to the retail store, so now I can just buy it online and get it shipped. It's not like you're going to turn this on and be drowning in orders. I hope that's what happens because that's a good problem. But the reality is it's absolutely something you need to be doing. And then HeyLocal is just something to help you get discovered once you do it. So I can't stress that enough as a marketing agency, how important it is that
I
you pull
know,
that
no,
man
it's totally true. And it's funny when you were saying about the ones that are rushed and last minute, I feel like you're talking to me when you say that. So this is, this is really great. No, so you're right. I mean, this is really important. A couple of weeks ago, we offered a session, a webinar where we had someone from not HeyLocal, so from Shopify, as well as we had Paul McLean from ShipperBee on about how to integrate shipping as an option. So for your own reference, if you wanted to go back and review that, review the recording of that, reach out to the Chamber of Commerce to see if it's possible to have that recording shared with you if you didn't get a chance to register and participate in that earlier one, because our talk here this morning really is like a part two of that, right? So it was part one in terms of how to get your business online, and then once your business is online, how do you make it so that it can be found? And I think, Justin, from your experience being in marketing, you can 110% speak to the need to be visible and to be accessible and to have multiple channels where your customers can find you, because you may discover new channels that you otherwise hadn't, right? Because you were focused on perhaps one, I would say, traditional channel. But there is a huge opportunity here. And so our hope for bringing this forward to you today is that you all see that this is something that is manageable, is very doable. We really wanted to alleviate some of the fear. Justin, you spoke about some fear. I think that is a very real feeling that a lot of businesses are experiencing right now, because maybe they're uncomfortable and there's some unknowns here. But I think ripping the Band-Aid off is a very good analogy. Just sit down and start going through it, reviewing it, seeing, and then you actually might even discover that you like it, right? Like, wouldn't that be kind of fun that you actually like being online and controlling another, way in which that you can engage with your audience. So, anyway, so that is really awesome. And actually, it's just been pointed out to me that on the Guelph Chamber of Commerce YouTube page is where you can find the recording of their previous webinars that they're offering. So if you go to their YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the session that we ran a couple of weeks ago on Shopify and ShipperBee. And then, so if you were to look at that and coupled along with what Justin has shared with us here this morning, I think it really paints a really nice, fulsome picture of how easy it is and how simple it is to bring your business online. So Justin, I can't thank you enough for your time in joining us this morning. And once again, just congratulations on this platform. It really is, you and others have done such a beautiful job of creating something that essentially we all need. Everybody, you mentioned the Canadian consumers. It is so true. Canada needs this right now. And we're really excited that we're here this morning talking about this and bringing this forward. So for those, just as a final parting words, this is really a great platform where people can stay local if that's what your goal is, or to allow other communities to find and fall in love with your business. This is also a platform for that as well. So as I mentioned, we're going to be following up after the recording with some information and resources. So stay tuned for that. Once again, I'd love to thank Justin, HeyLocal, and the Guelph Chamber of Commerce for making this session here this morning possible. And our hope is that this is something that propels them forward and continues to find success in the market. So really pleased that this is something that is available for others to be able to tap into. So thank you again, Justin. We really appreciate your time, and I hope that we'll see droves of people come forward interested in setting up shop with you. So I appreciate that. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy. Hope you find some sunshine and you have a chance to get out and enjoy it. Take care. Bye for now.